What's up, guys? It's Tyler of Ty's Corner, here with, well, Ty's Corner. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and boy, do I have a feast for you. We got a game, a TV show, and a holiday-appropriate movie. But first, let's take a look at an oldie but a goodie, Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo Entertainment System. Ah yes, the granddaddy of video games. Though this may not be the first video game, it revolutionized a new entertainment platform, gave birth to a whole new culture, and quite possibly saved video games from ceasing to exist. Nintendo needs no introduction, but speaking of introductions, this is actually the second video game Mario ever appeared in. Though he was known as Jumpman in the previous arcade games. But we all gotta start somewhere, I guess. The only thing really worth saying about the game that doesn't result in an hour-long history lesson is that it is fun. There are quite a few secrets to discover, and it is surprisingly tough at times. And there's the classic difficulty. The 3 deaths and you're finished. It'd be pretty biased if I gave this a 10 out of 10 and awesome, but I'm going to anyway. If you're looking for a challenge, a try at one of the first console games, or just a nostalgia trip, I download an NES emulator and give it a try. Now let's take a look at a TV show that came out recently, The Crazy Ones.
I'm back. You ready to get serious? Because this is going to get serious.
Oh!
I could have been somebody.
Yes.
I got him on the rope. Does he not look gas? Come on, bring it, Gumby. Boom! You got knocked out by a girl. Welcome, Clan McDonald. It looks like somebody had an unhappy meal.
Simon, I have something difficult to say.
Is it rubber baby buggy bumpers? Oh, I struggle with that one.
Authenticity, real.
We're
deep,
fired.
real-
That's the rumor. Zach sleeps around. He hears things. He may have even slept with somebody here in this room. I propose we redo that 1972 spot and upgrade the images. Combine that with the right voice. Someone incredible.
Someone gettable?
Someone famous.
Get me that voice
Perfect.
by tomorrow.
Even better.
Look at me.
I love doing that. Isn't she beautiful? You have your mother's eyes.
Dad.
Do that thing that reminds me of her, please. Just once. It's so cute.
I'm leaving you.
That's it. That's her. Feel like I'm back in court. Take half.
Do not encourage him.
The relationship between the father and daughter is the heart of the show, but a lot of the comedy comes from the absurdity of the world of advertising.
It just seemed like a fertile storytelling ground for madness.
Okay, just
Let's
bite
start
the
with a
cookie.
smile.
Mmm.
Are you married to this look? Because bring it
yeah,
down.
that's great. And
Bring it
chew it.
down a little bit. No, that's going to up. All right, now
And
spit. Bucket right there.
Dad McDonald is our biggest client. What are we gonna do?
Well, for starters, I'm having drinks with Kelly Clarkson. I'm going to need some meat. Zach! Vaya con queso, amigo. What? We still got it.
Robin Williams in a weekly comedy TV show. What could possibly go wrong? Well, somehow the show managed to go wrong. To summarize it real quick, Robin Williams is always great, of course. But it's like everyone else in the show, and even the show itself, is trying to keep up with Robin Williams' fast-paced humor, and failing to do so, embarrassingly. I'm not saying it's a badly made show, but it's not as good as it could be. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, an average. I'm gonna sit this one out for a while and see what happens. A few shows started out bad and ended up good, so fingers crossed. All right, now it's time for the main course, and that is Freebirds.
I'm not gonna dress it up. Turkeys are dumb. Really dumb.
You don't get it! They're fattening us up to eat us!
Hey, corn!
See you later, Reggie!
From the Academy Award-winning producer of Shrek.
We came to this farm for my favorite presidential tradition. Pardoning the Thanksgiving turkey.
And the director of Horton Hears a Who.
Don't worry, you're safe. I'm tired now. This is your new home!
Pizza!
Does it get any better than this?
Hello, soldier. Whatever you do, do not make a sound. Shh. You've been recruited for a top secret mission. What are you talking about? We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
Who are you talking to?
This guy right here. He totally gets it. Look, see how he's nodding? A map.
They aren't gonna just write time machine on the... of course they are.
Patrol, we have a contaminant.
Copy that. What type, Agent?
Turkey, sir. How do we address it?
With cranberry sauce.
But seriously.
Let's go. Wait. Take us to the first Thanksgiving. Our mission is not to save 10 turkeys.
Welcome to our home.
But all of them.
Oh, she wants you to throw up some worms into her mouth.
What?
I will get those birds.
Every last one of them! Enemy approaching. You must follow me blindly.
For the flock!
What's your plan for getting in? I'm going to use my incredibly toned pecs and buttocks to throw you over the wall. Go!
Funny, right?
Freebirds.
I'm sick of you throwing me around. You see this line? Do not come into my personal space. Did you not see the line? Because I was pretty clear.
So yeah, a Thanksgiving movie about two turkeys going back in time to keep turkeys from being eaten at the first Thanksgiving. Setting aside the fact that they probably weren't the main course if they were eaten at all, nobody should have expected this to be anything but a silly kids movie. But I at least expected it to be that, a silly kids movie. Calling this a silly kids movie is an insult to the silly kids movies. Let's start with what I'll be generous and call a story. Owen Wilson is a turkey, E-I-E-I-O. I'll be kind and have that be the only time I'll say that joke. Owen Wilson is the turkey chosen for the presidential pardon, even though he doesn't fulfill a single one of the qualifications, and lives a cushy life with TV and all the product placement Chuck E. Cheese pizza he could eat. Until then, a buff turkey named Jake shows up and tells him that he's on a quest from the Great Turkey to stop Thanksgiving from ever happening. And there's your problem right there. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said in my entire life. And that's not even the silliest thing about this movie. From there, they break into a government lab and steal a time machine, voiced by George Takei, who turns into one of the only good performances this movie has, simply on his greatness alone. And the time machine somehow understands the turkey's voice commands. They end up 3 days before the first Thanksgiving in Plymouth, and they're immediately chased by an over-the-top villain hunter until they're saved by the local turkeys. And from there, you have three choices of plots. The Dance with the Wolves with turkeys, Pocahontas with turkeys, or Avatar with turkeys. Just replace the natives with turkeys or have the people be cannibals, and it's pretty much the same plot. And then the last few scenes happen. Thesis papers could be written about everything wrong with the ending. If anyone cares about spoilers, now would be the time to stop and fast forward this. Okay. Now I'm assuming you fast forward past this, so there are no spoilers. So, anybody over the age of 10 should be able to figure out that Owen Wilson turkey is the great turkey that Jake saw in the past. But it takes 4 of him to even get close to have George Takei tell him. Yes, they do the time travel movie thing where he tells himself what's going on, but that could be forgiven if it wasn't done so ridiculously. And then he does the thing where he goes back in time and starts the plot again. Cliche, but forgivable. Then the movie gave up. There's no other explanation for what happens next. You may want to be sitting down for this next part if you haven't already. So the turkeys are going to attack the settlers after they burnt down their home with flaming pumpkin catapults. I know, stay with me. The settlers rationally respond by attacking them with cannons. So to be fair, the turkeys destroyed their guns, which to be fair again, you'd have to be absolutely silly to have happen. Then, just as they're about to be destroyed by cannon fire, a group of Indians shows up and say, "Those are some angry birds." If you're insane enough to stay in the theater after that, like I was, then you'll realize that is the high point of this last act. Owen Wilson Turkey comes down in the time machine and stops all the cannonballs mid-shot and absorbs all the cannons and the evil hunter, of course, into a magnetic vortex. Then he comes off the time machine and George Takei tells them all that Owen Wilson is the great turkey. And he gives them the gift that will stop the settlers from eating the turkey. Oh boy. Pizza. He brings a ton of Chuck E. Cheese pizza for them. I tried to walk out of the theater then, but my friend didn't let me. And the turkeys, settlers, and Indians lived happily ever after. Owen Wilson Turkey gets a stance with Fisk / Pocahontas / Natari Turkey to fall in love with him and stays with the colonial age turkey, and Jake and George Takei machine goes off to I don't know, fight crime through time or something. And George Takei finishes the movie off with one of his classic "oh my's." I have exactly 4 good things to say about this movie. One is George Takei is always great to hear, even if his talent is totally wasted. 2, the only real laughs that didn't come from the self-aware people in hazmat suits of the laboratory, and they at least knew how ridiculous the idea of turkeys messing with a time machine was, even if nobody else in the facility didn't. 3 and 4 are 2 good scenes in this. One scene is when the hunters find and subsequently destroy the turkey nest. This is actually a good scene here. It's shot well, there's actual tension, and it belonged in a better movie. The last is when Owen Wilson, the turkey, takes Pocahontas Turkey up in the time machine and they're looking down on Earth. And Pocahontas Turkey starts asking questions, and a better movie could have taken this aspect further. But none of that saves this from being an overall brain-dead movie with about as much respect for its audience as it does for history. I never wanted to eat a turkey sandwich more in my life, and I can't wait for Thanksgiving. 1 out of 10. Simply awful. If you really want to see this, I'd wait for it on Redbox, because $1 is exactly as much as this movie is worth. Though, they did get one thing right. This is the best turkey movie ever. Due to this being the only turkey movie that isn't really promising. Sorry, no Minute Critic today, folks. But I left you with some new info at your tables today as well. So, have a happy Thanksgiving, and stick around in this corner. Catch you later, Gator.